Alright guys, fully coming to you with another video. I hope all is well. You know, boxing is a sport that I have a love-hate relationship with boxing. You know, when boxing is in its purest form, it's one of the best sports, okay? When it's in its purest form, right? When the best fight the best, it's one of the best sports. When everything is cut and dry, it's one of the best sports. When everything is clear, it's one of the best sports. When everything is fair, everything is on a fair footing, it's one of the best sports. When it's not though, that's when I'm like, you know what, man? Why even bother? You know what I mean? Why even bother with it? So, some news came out that, and it's on his profile too. That's the thing. He put it on his profile. He wrote it on his profile. But the WBC has said that George Kambosos, and salute to his victory. You know, nobody's taking that away from him. Congratulations to him. He did what he did. He did his stuff. But the WBC is now saying that Kambosos is undisputed. They're saying that with that franchise championship, it makes him undisputed. So my thing is this. What is the point of a franchise championship? And what's the point of a regular WBC belt? Because last time I checked with the franchise championship, I thought that that franchise championship was like a lifetime thing for the person who asked to be a franchise champion. Because the thing is, Canelo asked to be a franchise champion, and also Lomachenko asked to be a franchise champion. I thought that meant you were a lifetime champion. I thought that belt was not interchangeable, like that belt couldn't go to anybody else, but it appears that it can go to other people. And so now I just question, okay, well, what the hell is the point of, what the hell is the point of having a regular WBC belt then? What's the point then? Okay? Because here's the thing. It means that, you know, the fight that we really want to see. Because basically, you know, what undisputed means, it means you're the top dog at your division. That's what that means. It just means that you're the top guy, that you're numero uno in your division. Okay? That's what undisputed means. And that's what I would assume most fighters want to do. I would assume that's what most fighters want to be. It's undisputed, right? That's what their goal is. That's what they strive to be. So I'm saying this all because now it's going to be like, okay, well, if he's saying this, then where does that leave Devin Haney? Let's say Devin Haney is successful against Jojo Diaz, okay? You never know. Things can happen. But I favor Devin Haney to win that fight. But so what does that mean? Does that mean we're not going to get that fight? Does that mean that fight is not going to be for undisputed if Devin Haney decided, yeah, I'll go to Australia and I'll fight you? Kambosos there. So what is that fight going to be for then? Because you're basically, if you're calling Kambosos undisputed, and mind you, this is Mauricio, or I should say mafioso Mauricio, saying that Kambosos is undisputed. This is him saying it, okay? So if Kambosos is undisputed, then what's the point of Devin Haney having a belt then? What was the point of Vasily Lomachenko getting franchise championship if franchise wasn't a lifetime championship and that franchise can be interchangeable? What was the point then? So this is my thing. Devin Haney should drop that WBC belt. I know he likes it and stuff like that, but it's fool's gold at this point. That belt is fool's gold. Or Devin Haney needs to sue the WBC. Because, in other words, they're not looking at him as a champion. If they're calling Kambosos undisputed, if Mauricio Suleiman said that Kambosos is undisputed, he needs to drop the belt. He needs to drop it. Forget paying sanctioning fees for something that really, what it sounds like, it doesn't exist. What's the point? Why pay sanctioning fees for something that doesn't exist? There's no point to do it. Why do it? Because if you're being bamboozled like this, then no, it's not worth it. It really is not worth it at this point. Because, again, it's like, okay, well, you're kind of giving Kambosos the don't get me wrong, Kambosos has all the leverage in the world. If Devin Haney and him were to meet, Kambosos would definitely be the A side. He has most of the marbles. No doubt. I'm not doubting that. But now Mauricio Suleiman is in essence throwing a monkey wrench in it. So if Kambosos is already calling himself undisputed, if the WBC is calling Kambosos undisputed, then you're actually in essence giving him the permission to avoid Devin Haney, which he may, depending on this performance. Depending on this performance on Saturday. You're giving him permission to duck Devin Haney. So you may now, Kambosos may now say, well, why would I want to fight a tough touch? I got all these belts already. I've done the groundwork. Why don't I fight someone else? Why don't I fight someone easier? And you know what Kambosos should do? He should drop that franchise belt too. But I know he's not. I know he's not going to drop the franchise belt. He's not going to drop that. Forget about it. It's not getting dropped by him. But, this is just a very disrespectful thing that the WBC is doing. And Devin Haney either needs to A, sue them, or B, he needs to drop that belt completely. Or C, just stop paying sanctioning fees on it. Just be like, I'm not going to pay you for no sanctioning fees. Because I'm not looked at as a champion. Therefore, it's like I'm carrying this belt around like for the hell of it and just for my health. Then don't pay sanctioning fees. This is what I would do if I were fighters, if I were in the professional ranks. This is a message to you fighters on what you should do. And you don't have to take the advice. But with the WBC belt, what I suggest what fighters should do is they should do something that was similar to a story that was passed down to me. There was this warrior named Saraka ibn Malik, Rahmatullah alayh. And so, there was a prophecy about him. They had a prophecy. And that prophecy was that he was going to conquer Iraq, and he was gonna wear these gold, like a gold bracelet after conquering Iraq, and they were rare gold bracelets. But after and so lo and behold, that prophecy came true. He wore the gold bracelets, but then he took them off and said, "Nah, I don't want them." And that's what fighters should do with the WBC: win the belt and then drop the belt. That's it. Just win the belt. Like, for example, you become unified champion, and you're like, okay, I got a WBC belt, I got an IBF belt, but let me just drop this WBC belt. I just wanted to say that I was a unified champion. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm good with that. Or let's say you go to undisputed. You know, you become undisputed. You're like, okay, well, I'm gonna drop this WBC belt. You know, after you become undisputed, you pose with it and then just drop it. That's what I would do. Because I'm gonna just end this video with one last thing. You see the favoritism that the WBC plays. They let Ryan Garcia run around like a chicken with his head cut off and do whatever he wants, and not enforce him to fight his mandatory, which was Devin Haney. Okay. They give him the WBC silver title. Okay. And then on top of that, you have what's his name? Freaking Oscar Valdez allowed to cheat and still hold on to his belt. Okay. Didn't strip him. Stripped Benavidez though. Didn't strip Valdez though. Stripped Benavidez. And then, you know, last but not least, let me not talk about what they allowed Canelo to do. Hell, they gave Canelo a belt when he was at 168, and he fought, and it was a vacant belt. And he fought Callum Smith, who I think had the IBF belt at the time. The WBC just threw him that belt. Okay, winner gets that too. You know, winner gets that belt too. But yeah, we know what time it is with them. And so if you're, I hate to say it, but if you're a colored person, just drop the WBC belt, win it, and then drop it and say you don't want that belt. But anyhow, Fula signing out. Leave your thoughts and leave your comments. And shout out.